Hello fish lover, today video topic is most popular betta fish. They are so well loved due to the many different shapes and colors which they can be found in. There are so many variations that betta fish are usually classified by their colors, patterns, and tail type. Betta fish, also known as fighting fish, are very common with beginner aquarists. They have been crossbred over years, creating the most amazing colorations and tail variations. They do not require a lot of maintenance, and their physiology and behavior are quite captivating and amazing. This fish can learn to recognize their owners, and they also create bubble nests. Betta fish have an organ known as the labyrinth organ, which allows them to breathe air as their gills cannot always get enough oxygen from the surrounding waters. There are different ways to classify bettas by looking at the shape of their tails, their patterns, and finally colors. Tails can have a lot of variation, from long and flowing to short and neat. Body patterns can also have lots of variation, from multicolored patterns to single body patterns. When you combine all the different tail shapes, colors, and patterns, there are hundreds of different betta types available, and no one fish is the same. There are many types and coloration. You just have to find the one you prefer the most. In this video we will discuss the different variations to help you find the best fish for you. Types of betta fish. The Crowntail Betta is one of the most popular freshwater fish. This species is relatively young, first bred by Ahmad Yusuf in Indonesia around 25 years ago. The fins of this species have a long spiky crown appearance. However, if the webbing reaches more than 2/3 up the tail, then it is classified as a different type, the Crowntail Betta. While the males show striking colors with long fins and tails, females look quite different. Usually, the female has lighter colors with a shorter tail with a less majestic overall appearance. Two-tail Betta. This is another very common variation of the tail type which is widely available. The male of this variation has a long, flowing downward swooping tail. It comes in many different color variations, and the overall appearance is quite remarkable. If you want to breed betta fish, you should know this is a dominant tail type over other variations, and therefore is one of the easiest to breed. The female is again quite different. She does not have any of the remarkable characteristics of the male, but sometimes has bright colors. Females tend to have lighter colorations and short fins and tails. 3. Plakat Betta. Contrary to most betta fish, Plakat Bettas have short and round tails. They are almost the exception to the rule. Their fins are also quite short when compared to other variations. Still, the male shows amazing colors. This betta type is considered the traditional form that would have been found in the wild. The name Plakat derives from the Thai word plakat, meaning fighting fish. These fish were commonly used and bred for fighting. For Halfmoon Betta. The name Halfmoon Betta is quite self-explanatory. The tail is large, creating half a circle, similar to the shape of a half moon. This type is strictly bred in captivity. You won't find them in the wild. Halfmoon Bettas are commonly bred among experts to exhibit during betta shows. First bred in the 1980s, the Halfmoon Betta didn't take long to reach Europe and then became internationally famous. These fish can be a bit challenging to breed and come with more aggressive behavior. 5. Double-tail Betta. The double tail is easily recognizable as it has two distinct tails separated from the base. Usually, this variation has a larger and longer dorsal fin with a shorter body. This gene can be found in any betta, of any tail shape and size. This often means that single-tail bettas already show double-tail characteristics such as dorsal fins with more rays than normal, which give them a richer appearance. 6. Elephant ear Betta. Dumbo Betta. This is a very unique fish that doesn't really fit into the tail or color category. Instead, its unique feature is its pectoral fins. Elephant ear bettas, or more commonly Dumbo bettas, have quite a unique shape. Usually, with brilliant striking colorations, the fins of this variation are quite funny. The name is given by the two pectoral fins resembling the ears of an elephant. These are also found in the wild, exhibiting more dull coloration from dark green, gray, and brown. Among the aquarium trade, more striking colors are found, such as bright blue, turquoise, red and yellow. 7. Delta-tail Betta. The delta-tail Betta has a rather large tail. It is named after the Greek letter D, as the tail resembles the shape of the letter delta. The tail starts to narrow towards the body and it widens toward the edges, resembling the triangular shape of the Greek letter. There is also another known variation called the super delta. This variation almost reaches 180 degrees flare. The spread of a normal delta tail is usually much smaller. The tail edges are uniform without any combing or crowing. 8. Rosetail Betta. The Rosetail Betta is a variation of the half-moon where the total spread of the caudal fin is larger than 180. The feature of this variation is that the rays of the tail are particularly branchy. This branching gives a striking look to the fish and makes the caudal fin looking like a rose. 9. Blue Betta Fish. You might think that choosing a blue Betta fish is really simple, but this is not always the case. There are many different shades of blue around. The most common colors are steel blue, almost grayish, which gives the fish a cold coloration, and the royal blue Betta, which is a vibrant and gorgeous coloration showing an iridescent bright blue. 10. Black Orchid Betta. The black Betta fish variation has a dark overall coloration. Occasionally you might observe purple or blue highlights along its body. An interesting fact about the black variation is that this group can be divided into 3 different types: Melano, black lace, and metallic. The black metallic has iridescent scales almost like the color of copper and translucent. 11. Red Betta Fish. Red is the dominant color with Betta fish. Usually appearing as a striking and full-bodied red color, sometimes this red can appear washed off too. On this occasion, you should watch their diet and water condition, as your fish might not be feeling at ease. From plakat to viletail, this color is commonly found across most variations of bettas. If it doesn't appear as one of the dominant colors, it also often shows as a highlight across the fins or the body of other colored fish. 12. Pink Betta Fish. The pink Betta fish can sometimes appear almost translucent. Transparent-looking bettas often get confused with the albino variation. These fish have almost no pigment, with the flesh shining through the skin. If the color pink is fuller, the fish will have a bright and rich pink color on their body and fins. However, is not always this simple, and even though the overall color is pink, they will probably have more color variations, from red to purple and white along their fins, tail, and body. 13. Rosetail Betta. The Rosetail Betta fish is perhaps one of the strangest types, as there is no one way to define them. They come in the most color variations, generally electric light blue with some color variations, generally dark blue, copper, and have a darker face. They are one of the rarest Betta fish. 14. Yellow Betta Fish. Yellow Betta fish are also a very common color found. This fish generally shows a full rich body yellow coloration extending along the fins and tail. This variation can have many different yellow shadings, from extremely yellow to a more tamed soft coloration. This variation is also known as non-red, as they exhibit similar characteristics but are yellow. 15. White Betta Fish. The white Betta fish might appear a bit plain when compared to other color variations. These bettas are completely white. However, even though the coloration can appear a bit dull, if you choose the right tail type, they are quite majestic. You can combine coloration and tail type to find the best for you. Long flowing swooping tails are quite majestic even though completely white. 16. Purple Betta Fish. True purple Betta fish are quite difficult to find. You will often find them in rich violets or purple bluish with other color variations such as copper and black. It's often common to find them with purple bodies and the fins or the face another color. They have all types of tail types and color patterns. You will just have to find the one that best suits your taste. 17. Green Betta Fish. Full green Betta fish are quite rare. Most commonly they appear as turquoise. Often the green is masked under a darker coloration, and if you shine light against it an iridescent green tone can appear. Bright green and dark green variations which are visible with the naked eye do exist but are very rare and often considered very precious. 18. Mustard Gas Betta. Mustard Gas Betta fish are quite remarkable. They are a bicolored variation showing different colorations between body and fins. The body is dark, usually varying from either blue or green. Their fins are usually yellow or orange, hence their name. This variation is often mistakenly called chocolate as the color of the fins are quite similar. However, the chocolate variation has a brown body. Patterns. The last way to classify the different types of Betta fish is through their pattern. Colors can be arranged in different patterns on their body and fins which make this fish so remarkable and appreciated across the fish-keeping community. Some of the color patterns have been carefully selected over the years by selective breeding. 19. Dragon Scale Betta. This is a relatively new pattern created through selective breeding. This pattern is very popular for its bright metallic coloration. The Dragon Scale Betta fish has a strong full-bodied color with body scales resembling those of a lizard or a dragon. Their base body color is usually a rich color such as red with iridescent pale scales across its main body, often copper in color. 20. Butterfly Betta. The Butterfly Betta is another common pattern and fairly distinctive. Typically, it has a solid body color that extends to the base of the fins and tail. This color suddenly stops and is replaced by a paler and iridescent color. Usually the fins and tail are white or transparent. Another variation of this pattern is to have the body of one color and then the inside of the fins and tail of another to then become white or transparent. Rowdy will slow down. 22. Koi Betta. The Koi Betta is a variation of the marble type, carefully selected through breeding. As the name suggests, this variation was bred to resemble the very popular koi pond fish. This is not a species found in the wild and was carefully bred over the years by aquarium hobbyists to preserve the most amazing characteristics and features. There isn't a distinct coloration for this type. Their brightness, richness, and colors vary considerably.